Hello, everyone. Welcome to the United Nations Associations of Minnesota podcast. This is FADIA THABET, Humphrey alumni from last year. And today I have Humphrey fellows from Pakistan, and his name is Faisal.
Yeah.
Welcome, Faisal.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions that I want to ask you about. So tell me a little bit about yourself and where are you from?
Hi, everyone. My name is Faisal Mukhtar. I'm from Pakistan. I have done my master's in business administration from my country. Currently, I am working in the law enforcement department of public safety. Previously, I have, in my previous assignments, I was looking after a water conflict between Pakistan and India. That was my core assignment. The other is I did not serve, but I went there for a desert area of Pakistan where water was a severe issue, and I worked few days there. So it's my experience in the water related issues in Pakistan.
So the second question is, can you just tell me a little bit about the experience from your home country, Pakistan, with the topic that we are talking about related to access to water, and you can give me how you engage youth in that from your perspective and from your job to have access to water?
First of all, I will give you a introduction of the water issue between Pakistan and India. Pakistan and India, they came into being in 1947, and they have shared water resources. After the partition, the water resources were also, divided between these two countries. So it is a basic issue between these two countries as well. And because of this issue, water, it's not being utilized properly. It has a long history of conflict. Later on, it was resolved with the help of World Bank in 1960. That is called Indus Water Treaty. I worked on it, and what I learned, because the issue that both of the countries, they are unable to leave their positions on the water issue. Because water is an important resource, and in the future, it's even more important than the fuel, than the oil. And what most of the analysts predict, that in future the war is going to be fought on water instead of fuel. So that water issue conflict is very important in the lives of the people of both countries, because of this issue, they are the community of the people of the both countries, they are affecting. So what lessons I learned from this, that we have a rigid view of water resources. We are not going to give up position. So win-loss situation. If I get some concession to the other one, that means I'm going to lose, the other is going to win. So it shouldn't be like this. There is a win-win situation. So how we can move forward, the issue that we can move forward in such a way that we need to find some commonalities, because water is important for both of us. So we need to share how we can utilize the water effectively for both our countries. So if we come up with this mind, so we can bring this solution. And this is the issue which is not related to the Pakistan and India. This issue is everywhere, and this is one of the.
That's true.
It's one of the basic issue. It's in Africa. It's in the Middle East. And,
yes.
And the countries are fighting over the water resources.
And I do agree about what you said, that I guess people in the future will not fight about fuel, but they will fight about water.
Water.
Yeah.
It is true. So what we can do, it's a water diplomacy. It's an important subject. It's an emerging, and it's getting importance on the international level as well. The international organizations, they come up and they play a role of mediator in order to reduce the conflicts between the countries and among the nations in the world. So my point of view is that the countries should come up and sit, because the water is a shared resource. how we can utilize it effectively. In the absence of any treaty, in the absence of any cooperation, a lot of water is being wasted, and it's not even helpful or beneficial for any of the country. Just because of our differences, water is being wasted in the river, in the oceans like this, and we are not able to produce electricity on the water. We are not able to produce, to reserve it on for agriculture purposes and for drinking and for toiletries use.
Okay, so can I ask you a question about how do you think the situations related to women, especially with water, how the woman actually can get a water? I know as far as I am from the Middle East and I came from a country that, especially in the rural area, that women and children are the one who are responsible to get a water, and they just they have to spend like 2 hours or 3 hours walking from a village to another, passing from a mountain to another to get a water. This is related to a safety issues for women and children. So how this has actually affected women and children in Pakistan? And the other question that also I want to ask you about, is there any kind of alternative resources that you to keep, for example, like the rainwater? What is the local reactions to all this kind of water problems? Because I have been reading about water issues recently, and I figure out that there is a village in Pakistan, or I don't think so if it's in Pakistan, actually it's in Afghanistan, and the water disappeared from that village. And it's the same thing that's happening now in the Middle East and even in Iran. So how that the local community reacted and responds to the rain, for example, like if the government are not willing or they don't have any kind of plan to have alternative for the water resources, how do you think the community will do that?
Okay, I will start from the water situation. In Pakistan, the situation is not encouraging one. It's really a critical challenge for Pakistan.
Is it because of the conflict?
Not of the conflict, but one is because of the conflict. The other is the policies how to conserve the water and how to utilize it. Different sources of water. There is a rainwater, there's a groundwater as well. And because of the preservation, we are unable to store the water. There are so many floods every year in Pakistan. Not every, but after a couple of years there is a flood because we are unable to store the rainwater and the water which is coming from the melting glaciers like this. So I will just take the example of the scarcity of water in that desert area. I got an opportunity to visit the third district, which is the 18th largest in the world and the one of the largest in the Pakistan, the desert area. It is shared between Pakistan and India. And you see the situation, you rightly pointed it out, that the women and the girls, they have to travel a lot to get water, not only 3-4 hours, but in days when the water is really shortage, they have to travel the whole day just to bring the few gallons of water.
Yeah.
Just imagine their situation, and you rightly pointed it out again that it's the basically responsibility of the women in the house and the girls and the younger girls. It's their responsibility to bring the water. So
And that's a big issue on their safety, right?
Safety, their empowerment, their education, they are all suffering. They are all living these things. They cannot get education. They cannot be active part of the development of their own area. Their core purpose is just to bring few gallons of water for their family, for themselves. So it's affecting their lives, the socioeconomic development of the area a lot. So what we observed that there is in that area, just because the lack of water, there is no development, because basically this is agriculture, that was agriculture economy, and water, because less of water, there is no agriculture, one thing. The other is the lack of education literacy rate, particularly in women and girls. I mean, when they are unable to attend the schools because their job is to bring water from far-flung area, so they are unable to attend the school, so the literacy rate is very low. The other is the socio-economic development of the area,
Yeah.
not only the families but the area. No one is willing to come there to invest their resources because water is required to bring any industry, to bring any big project. So there is no water. So in the absence of water, no one is willing to invest there, no projects. So there is no employment in the youth. I mean, there is a youth, they are just more dependent on the agriculture, and there is no youth employment opportunities for the youth. So just imagine that water and so many issues are associated with water.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Education, employment,
Education, employment,
safety.
safety,
Yep.
like this. I mean, imagine other their future career, their future growth as well. So imagine anything and just give. That's why I am a big fan of this phrase. I mean, give them water, and water will bring everything for them. Water will
Oh,
bring.
that's very nice. I like that too.
Water will bring peace. Water will bring safety. Just because of this water, they are deprived of all these things. The other is, the alternative resources of water. I mean, the biggest resource is the rainwater. Rain. We receive a lot of rain in the air during the year, but the issue is to preserve them. We are unable to preserve them. The second is the groundwater. I mean, the groundwater is a good alternative resource, but it's very limited. Every year when you use it, it's being down and it goes down and down, and so groundwater is depleting. But we have to combine the groundwater and the rainwater as well. The other is we have to come up with such agriculture products which consume less amount of water. This is another alternate.
Alternative, yeah.
And such products, species of we can do it a technological advancement. I mean, like this. So bring up with those species of the farming which require less amount of water. I think, I observed another issue which, we are talking about a lot of access to water and the water resources. But another aspect of water resources is to preserve the existing resources and utilize them effectively and efficiently. This is another aspect of water resources.
Resources, yeah.
So not about where we get the water, but the issue is that the water which we already have, how to preserve them.
That's true, yeah.
We waste a lot of water. I mean, like, did we ever thought? Have we ever thought about we go in the washroom and like this the water resources and use the water, plenty of water, whatever. I mean, we never ever thought about it. I mean, how to preserve it. I mean, use less so that it will be available for other people.
That's true, yeah.
So we have all, as a human being. I mean, it's not the responsibility of the nation. It's responsibility of everyone. Like you, everyone in this community is responsible for preserving the water, and preserve it for the other people. I mean, those who are. I mean, think about those people who are not a blessed one to have the access of this water.
Yeah.
So, if we, implement it at the macro level and the global level, water issue is the main issue which you can say is a conflict among the nations. If we are able to resolve the water issue among the nations, you know what will happen? I mean, it will harbinger a new era of prosperity and development in the world. If two nations, they are at loggerheads with the water resources, if that issue is resolved, so they will come together, there will be more trade, there will be more exchange of people, culture, ideas. So
More investment. That's true.
And there is a less chances of, a war in that region. So water for peace is another theme, you can work on it. water for peace.
I like that. Yeah, water for peace.
Yeah, water for peace and water diplomacy, I mean, how to engage people. And who are the important actors in this issue? They're the countries itself. But, in order to resolve this kind of critical issues, we need some kind of mediators from the third party. And UN and its allied agencies, they can play an important role. Like I said, Pakistan and India, World Bank, with the help of World Bank in 1960, we were able to reach a treaty, that's Indus Water Treaty. So the international organizations, they can play and they have to play. And they have to play more persuasive manner. I mean, do not take it, this is not a normal issue. It's a need of the day. We are not realizing it right now, but go to the areas, the Africa, the Asian, the far-flung area of the world, the developing areas, and then you will realize that the water is really an important issue.
And a part of that, because it's actually related to the questions that I have now, what do you think is the most important aspects of diplomacy in dealing with countries, in dealing with other countries? So that's related to the international community that you mentioned now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, when you come, how we can deal with other countries, the role of mediator is very much important. Because the mediator or the arbitrator who will play its role, they will bring both the nations together. They will work on the differences of the nations and try to reduce it and make more commonalities and make a situation which is win-win for every country. This is the important. I mean, not a win-loss. I mean, not any country will feel that I'm going to lose water, because no, I'm going to win, the other country is going to win. And win for the communities as well. I mean, the people who are living in their countries. It's not the fight of the governments. It should be like this. I mean, the government should understand that their citizens, their people living in their nation, they need water. I mean, it's better for them. It's better for their lives, their growth, their education, their prosperity, and their development, and the overall development of the country. So if we move with this perspective, I hope we will be able to find some kind of solutions for the conflicts among the nations.
This is the most profound things that I ever heard about water for peace. In order to achieve peace, we have to have access to water. So thank you very much, Faisal, for all your time, and wish you the best luck with your fellowship.
Thank you. Thank you so much, FADIA.